Um, Has anyone else joined us?
Not yet.
Okay.
I put it out on my Facebook page and in my
Well, that's awesome. We appreciate you doing that. I've had some people contact me via email, and then I've also had one of our instructors, Denise, share with me that that she has had good feedback from her classes, that several were going to be on. And Jean, I believe you're part of those classrooms.
Yeah, I do the meditation in the morning.
How nice.
It's wonderful.
It is.
Best way to start the day.
It is the best way to start the day. Good for you. Okay, so I'm just trying to find out why I can't see. I don't see the host setting at all. So
maybe you need to go back into where you set it up.
that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna hit the record button in just about a minute or two so you can start, but I wanted to make sure that I get, okay, I'm gonna just, okay.
Mexicans are currently eligible to receive the vaccine. Dr. Collins did not say when she expects to hit that 60% mark, which equates to about 480,000 people.
What is that?
Show a total of 400.
I'm not sure.
Got at least one. Dr. Collins says supply is still a big problem, but a bigger vaccine shipment than normal is expected next week. Phil.
And
Is everybody going to introduce themselves, or how's that going to work?
I'm going to introduce you so that everybody knows you and what the topic's going to be. So welcome everybody. And as everybody gets on, I know they'll be muted, but we'll have time for hand raises and questions and things after Connie's presentation. So Connie Knudsen is a friend and a expert feng shui consultant here in Albuquerque. And she's been practicing for a good number of years, written a book on the subject, and she is now going to talk to us today about how that can be a tool to use for many things in our lives. And this particular time, she's going to touch on what we attract, meaning love and friendships, and also other types of things that might be holding us back from attractions. And I'm going to give it to you, Connie, and highlight you. So hopefully this will work. I think it will. Everybody's pads are different, but I think we're good.
All righty. Well, thank you for this opportunity to speak to you this evening. It is my honor and my privilege to be able to share some things, some tips. I'm going to share some tips on attracting love and romance into your life. And so I'm sorry I can't share my my slides, but let me introduce myself again. My name is Connie Knudsen, and owner of Feng Shui with Connie K. And I'm also facilitator of a group called Healing Homes and Hearts. It's a group and it's a movement of women who want to heal their homes and from stress and other blockages, and their hearts, so that they can make a bigger difference in the world. They can impact the world with their God-given skills and gifts. So my mission is to inspire, heal, and guide people. So the three areas that I work with, I heal homes with dowsing cures, and that relieves the stress. I inspire and lift hearts with healing strategies, and I guide people to prosperity, healing, and protection. So I have a little welcome sign that you can't see, but again, a welcome. It's a it's on a door because I chose that because I bought my dream home this past summer, and so that I felt like was important to share. So let me ask you some questions relating to this. Are you struggling with finding romance or a social life? I think many people are because of the situation that we find ourselves in. Have you been struggling to find the right person? Has your love life lost its juiciness? Excuse me. Would you love to easily attract love and romance? And would you love to use energy to become attractive to a romantic partner? And who wouldn't love that? I'm just going to take a quick drink here. And on the other hand, wouldn't you love support to bring in more joy or create a supportive space? Because what we have around us is usually what we're attracting. So wouldn't you love to create amazing energy flow in your home or your bedroom and attract the one you've been looking for? So if you said yes to these, then you are in the right place. So let me start, and may I see hands if it's okay for me to share my story of how I got interested in Feng Shui and just how it happened for me. And it's different for everybody. But a few years back, around 2015 or in 2015, I was struggling in a job that did not serve, it just wasn't a good fit for me. I had a master's degree in early childhood education, but yet I found myself in this strange situation where I was listening to babies screaming and listening to adults yelling at kids to try and get them to obey, and feeding them foods that I consider diabetes promoting, which is high sugar and high carbs, and not making enough money, working long hours, but not making enough money. And it just, plus my health was just going south. And I have a condition called asthma. So that was getting worse by the day. And I was looking everywhere I could think of to try and find something that would help me to turn that around. It would bring me more joy and make a bigger difference in the world. So one day I was searching on the internet, and I wish you could see her picture because she is gorgeous. She told us about how she was being interviewed, and she was talking about how she transformed her life by moving her bed. And she was 15 years old, and she had no friends. She prayed a lot. She tried to be kind to everybody, but yet the kids were bullying her and treating her bad, and she just felt very lonely. So she asked her spiritual teacher, well, why is all this stuff, why are all these things happening to me? And he said, well, you just have bad feng shui. So she said, feng shui, what is that? And he said, he just told her she could put different images around her. It's a child, you have to say it simple for a child. Just put different things around you, and we're going to move your bed to a better place. So she moved from a bedroom that was just not working for her, and she hated to be there. She went to bed like as late as possible, and the energy in that room was just really negative. So he had her move to a different room. And within a few days, it was bullies stopped bullying her, and she found her first boyfriend. So that's important. Changing your environment can help you to attract what you want. If you feel good in a place, have supportive images, that's going to help you turn things around. So I said to myself, wow, if it's that easy, I'm going to try it. So I moved my bed to a different room, and I didn't know really about good directions. I now know there's good directions for everybody, and there's less good directions. So I didn't know about facing my bed in the right direction. But what I found is within a couple of weeks, I had made the decision to retire, figured out a way to retire, work from home, move to Albuquerque, and start my own business. So it was kind of like everything sort of started changing for me in that short period of time. So today, I love to support women and a few men to create their own, to release their stress, to create amazing energy flow, and so that they can create a better, make a better difference, the one that they've been wanting, just create the life that they've been looking for. So tonight, I'm going to give you some tips. I call them tips for the bedroom, but it's more than that. It's where you start if you want romance. So tip number one, and you should see this gorgeous picture of a bed, beautiful colors for a bedroom, and it's set up with shining wood floors and a stand on either side of the bed. Now that's what's recommended is, first of all, bedroom should not have bills on your nightstand. It should not have a stack of books. It should not have pretty much anything other than things that are images or items that are going to support love or sleep, romance or sleep. Those are the two main purposes of the bedroom, and having a lot of extra clutter can make it difficult to sleep, can make it difficult to focus on what the purpose is that you're in that place. And this bed is kind of a light brown, beige brown, and it's got only one pillow there, so that's not ideal for romance, but it's got good neutral colors are really the best for a bedroom. You don't want really strong colors like red or bright orange. You want kind of neutral colors, but you can have light colors of any shade, any color that you want, but it's their light that will support your sleep. So that is tip number one, is to declutter your bedroom and make it purposeful for what you are choosing to attract. So tip number two is to inspire romance. And I have here some gorgeous pictures. There's some roses that are kind of between peach and pink. And what I mean by inspire, I mean put pictures on the wall that inspired you. Think about, ask yourself, what inspires me? What would make me feel good? What would make me feel like I'm supported? So my first choice was some roses, because for romance, roses, and they're not bright red roses, they are sort of peachy. And then next image is a picture of a man and a woman looking at each other. They look like they were just married, and they're standing very close together. So you can put images of romantic couples up there. If you have somebody, you can put a picture of you and your romantic partner kind of facing each other. If it's in the same picture, great. If it's not in the same picture, you can just take side views of both partners and make them facing each other. Maybe you're not together yet, but it's what you want to attract. So you put the pictures like you're facing that person. Third image is two birds, and they are sitting on this beautiful branch of flowers. The flowers are white, but the birds have like a yellow chest, and they're in pairs. That's the point. You can have lovebirds. You can have any two animals, as long as they're not wild animals. You can have any two animals that inspire you or that suggest romance or love. So that's another thing. And then a third, the last image is of two wine glasses. Anything in pairs is great. Anything in pairs sort of turns on the juices, and this looks like a romantic evening. And so that is what I chose for the last image. I wish you could see this next one. It is a cat sleeping on a bed, and it has its little paws up like this, like doesn't want the light in. And the title is Sleep Towards a Good Direction. And I think this cat must be sleeping toward a good direction because it does not want to wake up. It's deep in sleep and it's trying to keep out any light from its eyes so that it can sleep longer. So what is a good direction? According to the teachings of Marie Diamond and Feng Shui in general, everybody is born with 4 good directions. 1 for success, 1 for health, 1 for relationships, and 1 for wisdom. So on the day you were born, there's 4 directions that will make you feel stronger. And if you sleep towards one of those directions, it will make you sleep better and you will wake up refreshed. So if you don't already have it, I think I mentioned in my last talk to download the Marie Diamond app. And what this will do is on your phone. You can download it easy on your phone, no charge, but you type in your date of birth and your gender, and this will bring up what is your energy number, your personal energy number, and what are your 4 good directions. And it also will give you what your archetype is, which, in other words, a tendency towards certain areas of talents that you could have. So you will probably intuitively be doing something like that, but if you aren't, this will give you a good direction to go to and explore as far as what you would like to do. And tip number 4, I have 4 tips and maybe 5, depending on our time and if there's interest to know what the 5th tip is. But the tip number 4 is release what no longer serves you. And I'm going to share a story that happened to me. I have a program called Release and Receive, where I take people through 9 days where they release things on a physical, mental, spiritual, emotional level, and it helps them to do the decluttering really much more quickly without resistance. Like sometimes we're very attached to our things and we resist letting go. So I was previously married and I had this beautiful set of dishes. I loved them, but I'm divorced, so I almost never used them. I don't know why. I just didn't. I just wanted to hold on to them because they were so beautiful and I didn't want to let go of them. So one time during my Release and Receive program, I decided, okay, so I'm going to give these away. And that was very hard because that was something that I found very beautiful. And but I went ahead, I gave it away. And I believe it was the following month, which was like, this was in January, and then the following month, February, I was invited to on a date to go to out for tea, and I just met this gentleman, and we did go out for a few more times. He wasn't the one, but I still have that memory of how it just how that happened by releasing something that really was no longer serving me. So my point in telling the story is because clutter can be in different forms. It's not always the papers. Sometimes it can be other things that we're holding on to. If it's something that represents a previous relationship, then that something can actually block your energy for receiving, finding a new relationship. I found it and very exciting to realize, you know, and that's why I love helping people to release on all levels, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because sometimes we're not even sure where it comes from. So I teach them how to do that. So do we have time for me to give one more tip or?
Yes.
Okay. So another tip is writing a letter to the universe, describing all the qualities and talents and interests that you would like to attract into your life through this new partner. Just writing down, dear universe, you can release any relationships that you want to release, but more importantly, you're going to write down all the things that you want, the qualities, I wouldn't go into a whole lot of the physical appearance, but you can go into talents. You can go into, resonating with, they accept me for who I am, or however you want to put it. And then you take it outside on a sunny day around between 12 and 1 or whenever the sun is brightest, and you burn it. And that transmutes the energy, changes it into a different form, and it sends that message out to the universe in a different form. And what happened with me, I bought a home, and I wanted to rent out one of the rooms to a roommate, and I wanted it to be a good experience. So what I did is I wrote out a request to the universe. This is what I want. I went into detail, the kind of person I wanted. I didn't want someone to be so silent that we never saw each other and didn't ever communicated. I didn't want someone who was that had a deep need to talk all the time, because I have a business, so I didn't want that either. I wanted someone who would be hardworking, had a job, and we would resonate, or we would, complement each other. And I interviewed a number of people. They just didn't feel right. But then I found I had to open myself up to the idea of could be a male or a female. You close doors if you may limit it too much. But I just wanted the qualities, and I found this young man who is actually, he's interested in health, and he happened to be a perfect fit. So I think it had a lot to do with me sending that message out to the universe, because my previous roommate, I didn't do that with, and it was a horrible match. So that was my experience. So I'm going to wrap this up. Would you love support? Let me ask you some questions, because these are general tips. These can work for anyone, but there's also more specific. I can get you individualized results. If you love to bring in more abundance, joy, or healing into your life, or business growth, would you love to create a supportive space in your entire home, not just the bedroom? Or would you love to create amazing energy flow in your office, home, or business? Would you love to attract the life you've been longing for? And that's what I love about Feng Shui, is that it attracts things on many levels. So I give individualized consultations for individualized results. And I would like to put, if I may, to put in the chat three ways to get in touch with me. The first way is through a consultation, a 15-minute, 20-minute consultation to see if we might be a good fit, and for the release and receive program, which is on demand. It's already pre-recorded. You can go through the whole thing on your own. So I'm going to put that in the chat if I may. Let me see how I do this. Hopefully it shows up. Did it show up? Okay. Yeah, there it is. That's release and receive. That's to get.
Yeah.
That's to schedule a consult, the free consult. The next way, let's see, is to join my group, Healing Homes and Hearts. It's on Facebook. It's also free. I'm going to put, and the third way is jump right into release and receive. So I have those three ways, and then I'm going to open it up to questions. I'm just going to go ahead and paste those in here. And there it is, Healing Homes and Hearts, the Facebook group, and the release and
it's there.
application. If you want to, if you already know that you want to do it, you can sign up for it right there. So that's basically it for my presentation. And I would like to open it up now to some questions.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you, Rose. Okay, so yes, we're opening it up there, and anyone who needs to unmute so that we can ask Connie any questions or any concerns or anything you want to share about her presentation and
Or
a personal. Hi.
Hello.
Is there anyone on the Zoom with us that would like to reach out? Please unmute, and Connie will be glad to answer any questions.
Did I see Dr. White with his hand up?
Yeah, so this may be a little bit in the weeds, but when it comes to the 4 directions that one his their attributes at birth, can they be all the same, or they are, in other words, all south, all north, all east, or is it all over the map?
They are different directions. There's one for health, one
Yep.
for relationships, one for success and prosperity, and one for wisdom. And I was going to go. I didn't finish my thought there with facing a bed in a good direction for you, and that means when you stand at the foot of the bed, you are looking in one of those 4 directions when you stand, and your head is pointing toward the good. It's not like when you're sitting up. It's when you're lying down.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Pointing toward a good direction.
Mhm.
And then the other question that I was going to address that a lot of people wonder about, if you have a partner, what if your partner has different directions than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's what you have to do is you have to compromise. And the best way to compromise, if the highest breadwinner has the house facing in a good direction, the front of their house, the front door is facing in one of their good directions, that's ideal. And then the other partner gets the head facing in their good direction. So that way, both of you have something in their good directions, and you can always activate your good directions in your office by putting up positive image, say in your success direction or in your health direction. So that kind of compensates for if you're sleeping in a less good direction. It's not very often that 2 people have exactly the same. It can happen, but usually there's different. And in that case, I recommend finding a house that faces one of your good directions. It took me a long time to find a house that actually didn't take that long once I started looking, because it was only like 3 months or something like that after I decided this is what I want, it's time to move. I did actually find something that's facing, that's why I call it the house of my dreams, because it's facing my good direction. It has this wonderful tree in the front. And when I saw it, I knew this is the one. There was honeysuckle wrapped around the tree, and there was hummingbirds. Believe it or not, there were hummingbirds. And I said, I just felt so welcome. So I knew this is going to be the one. So any other questions?
Well, congratulations on finding your home.
Thank
I
you.
have another then. If you can't orient your home, like move it or whatever, or your bed, can you compensate for that by what you put in the home and its orientation?
Hmm.
You
Good
can definitely do that. There's things that you can put on the door that kind of shifts the direction. This is going to sound weird. It kind of shifts the energy that's coming into your home to a more favorable energy. So there's little things you can do like that. You can activate your success direction. But I know I was living in a home that faced a frustration direction for quite a while, apartment. And I found it very frustrating to live with that kind of energy. And I tried to find, it had more than one problem. So I ended up not being able to even sleep in the bedroom because it was, it had all the electrical outlets, what do you call them? The electrical meters on the outside of my bedroom. And no matter what I did, I didn't feel good in that bedroom. So I ended up sleeping the end in the living room. But then I decided I can't do this anymore. I want a real life. I want a place where I feel supported. And so I was able to set that up. That was just my decision because there was some negative energy in that bedroom. So,
So I have something like Dr. White was asking, if there are elements and things in addition to the actual layout of the home, and you can maybe tweak things based on where you might do some placement of items or a type of item. Like you said, you can hang things on the door, mirrors or something, I think, reflections.
Mirrors, yes, that's another point I was going to talk about. In the bedroom, mirrors are not recommended.
That's a toughie.
Several reasons. For several
I mean,
reasons. First of all, the mirror represents water, and water should not be kept in a bedroom because it creates instability in your sleep. So if you want good sleep, you may have bad dreams. You may have a difficulty getting to sleep. You may have emotional, upsets in the bedroom or, while you're in that room. It's mostly while you're sleeping. When you're awake, the water is fine. But you want to cover, if you have a mirror or if you have a TV in your bedroom, cover it up at night because that will disturb your sleep. The other reason for it is if a bed is reflecting, if a mirror is reflecting your bed, it doubles whatever's there. So if you are with a partner, it will look like you have 4 people in the bed. And that energy will encourage one of the partners to stray in order to correct that. Be 4 people here, should only be 2. And if you're single, it'll reflect like there's 2. And if you want to find a partner, then you shouldn't you don't want to reflect that there's already 2 because you're telling the universe, well, I'm already fine. This is what, this is what I'm single, and this is, well, there's already 2. So you don't want to do that. You want to attract the 2. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, I'm remembering all these things that I had planned. So the mirror, the TV also counts like it reflects. So cover the mirror, cover the TV, if you happen to have those in the bedroom, that would support your energy better. When I said make room for romance, I forgot to mention, literally it means making room. Like if you have a double bed or a master king bed, you want to have two nightstands. If you're alone, you still want to have two nightstands because you're making room for another person. You want to have in your closet, move your stuff over, make room for another person. Think about, do I really have room for another person? Do I want another person? Am I ready for this? So if you are, you can give some stuff away, or you can just move things over so that when that person does show up, you'll be ready. And the bathroom, same thing. Make a space for another person's toiletries, towel rack, whatever you think another person might need, and you make space for it. So I think those are really practical tips that anybody can do. So did that answer your question?
I have one more on the success subject of our individual successes and how that can be best nurtured through our surroundings. You mentioned offices and how that could play a part in, whether or not you're able to do that at home. Of course, if you have a home office, that's one thing. But if you work out of a business, a separate business, what are some of the tips for, I guess, maybe general tips for us to look at creating more success in whatever that may be in our lives using our office?
Yeah, well, having a vision board and interacting with it is one thing that you can do. Put it up where you can see it every day, and have your goals written on it and images that reflect what you want to put in there. And there's a special way that I teach. It's a law of attraction type of vision board where you put actually your goals in the exact direction on your vision board. You don't just
Right.
on any old place. You put it on whatever your success direction is. You put it on that success direction, and you start your goals. I think I mentioned this before, but you start your goals with I am, capital I, capital M, and then whatever it is that you are wanting to attract. I am serving thousands of, I am transforming the lives of thousands of women around the world. My vision is to help women particularly, but also men, to heal their hearts because they have an emotional piece, and on their homes. The dowsing that I do is amazing because this blocks off any energy stressors that are coming into your house from the standpoint of the earth, like geopathic stress, which is stress, which is water under your home. And it could be water, it could be a soil difference. We are around 75% water. So if there's too much water in your environment, you will not be able to focus. There's stories, amazing stories about people who have continuously gotten sick, and they douse the home, and all of a sudden the immune system can work properly, and they stop getting sick. So it's not that it cures it in the sense that it's a cure for the disease, but it just allows the immune system to do its job, which is what we were created for. The immune system is supposed to work on its own, and it does. But if there's things coming into your house, like for example, the electrical outlets, that switches the way the energy flows, and it becomes a negative. So that's not feng shui, but they work together, they enhance each other, they help you. I don't know if I answered your question about success, because that's another whole talk in itself of as far as the vision board and how to set it up, because it's different. It's different than the way the Western mind thinks. The North and the South, the East and the West are located on that vision board in a different way than what the Western mind understands. And but I have my goals up there, and I have some big goals for this year. So that would be the main thing, is to have your goals up there. If you don't have them up there, you can make a little dream, what do you call it, dream notebook, and write them in your notebook and read them aloud every day. That is very helpful too. If you don't want to put
dream
goals out there in a public place, you can put them in there and read them, and that tells the unconscious mind what it is that you are desiring. There's also, in every home, this is something that people don't understand, is that the home itself has negative energy in certain areas and positive energy in other areas. So the two things that are most unusual are the fountain and the chimes. Now the fountain, it represents abundance. So the fountain goes in a different place every year, according to the energy flow for that year. And the chimes, the 6 metal rods that you place in a place, if it happens to be a negative area, it will raise the energy. I mean, that's kind of hard for us to grasp, but it raises the level of energy, and it can't be wood, because wood won't do it. It has to be metal, and it raises the vibration of that particular area. So if it's already positive, some cures are to put in the chime to make it even more strong, to make it stronger. And if it's a negative, like there's some really negative energy, there was in the East. I think I mentioned this in the East last year. There was I think it was called a disaster star in the East. And she said there would be some sort of energy, negative problems that would affect the whole entire world. And that's where the coronavirus came from, was from the East. And she also said this year it will be the opposite. Some of the healing energy will be coming from the East and then spread to the West. Like last year it was the opposite. So it's very interesting how that changes year to year. Last year there was the energy of the rat, and the rat brought, she said it brought a lot, the illness. The rat is a fearful animal, and it spreads disease. This year is the year of the ox, and the ox is a very strong animal there, which means there'll be a lot of work to do this year. People will be working hard, and sometimes we'll need to do things to inspire that ox, because the ox is they'll push through anything and they'll get through anything, but the ox is it needs this. That's why we're going to need more inspiration and supporting each other and encouraging each other, because that's the energy of the ox. It needs a little more inspiration than it's a stronger and more, I would say, result-oriented animal. So we're going to see more results from our efforts this year than we did last year.
That's great news. So this can also apply to our health, our like all these different things that you're mentioning are good for us to probably not only pay attention, but learn maybe some of the directional demographics that you're describing, and learn how they relate to ourselves, because it can be different for everybody.
It can be, it is
different.
Depending on your energy number, your personal energy number. So
okay.
Health, for most people, health will improve because that there's no longer that disaster energy in the east. So that will improve. And there actually is more abundance energy in this year in a lot of places. So we can expect there's still some areas to cure, like she said, for the United States, there will still be a lot of violence this year. There will be still, because of the energy, there will still be a lot of violence. So you want to cure the area where the violent star is this year, and you want to protect yourself. This is just amazing how little things can make a big difference. She talks about how she had there's one direction that's a total loss, or no, I guess loss. I don't know if it's total loss, but what she said, somebody tried to break into their house, and she had the activation for the protection for the loss area, and it was blue, the color blue. She just had a blue pillow. That was it. And this thief tried to break in through, they heard this crash. Her son was actually the only one there. He heard this crash downstairs and didn't know what happened. And then somebody started screaming. Apparently, the guy who tried to break in had cut himself on the glass, and went off running because obviously he was hurt. So, I mean, she said it's better than insurance, because it was not possible. Energetically, it was not possible. He could try, but it didn't work. So I just think it's amazing how energy works. You can't see it, but every color has a vibration or a frequency. And it's like putting acupuncture, acupuncture for your house. Small changes can have a big impact. It's less is more. It's not necessarily the biggest fountain you can get. It's what's right for this energy. And there is, in the South, there is an abundance star in the South. So my house is facing the South. So it's good for me.
Too.
This year.
Oh, mine is too. Okay, well, I think we are, are you okay? I didn't mute everybody. I think I just took mine off.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Jean's unmuted. I don't know if she has a question, but
Yeah, I had a question about, you said something before about frustration being a direction. Are there bad directions as well as good?
every person has 4 positive and 4 negative directions.
Okay.
So if your house is facing in a less good direction, I prefer to call them less good, but it tends to attract that kind of energy into your house. If your house is facing that way, you may want to cure that area to just lessen that effect and raise up the energy of that, if it's not good for you. And you can, like I said, you can also, if you have a spouse and it faces their good direction, you're good, because if he or she is the highest breadwinner, then you're good. You're still going to be having good things come to you. But if you're alone and you're not facing that, there's other things I can help you figure out what could be done if you're not ready to move. But that goes, I mean, I have to see your whole house plan and see, what the energy is and how it relates to your particular energy, and what would be helpful in that case. So,
Are there any other questions or comments from the group?
Very interesting.
thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's been my honor and pleasure to be here. And like I said, if you wanna connect with me, there's 3 ways. Consult or joining my group, where you'll see sometimes I do videos or but posts, and you can do the release and receive program, which is very reasonable price, and it's 9 days, and they're all pre-recorded at this time, but you're welcome to send me emails if you have any questions about that.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
And it was really a pleasure to see you again and to hear a lot of great information. I want to thank our group for being here, and we appreciate your support. And I will be happy to get any of the information that Connie has shared. If you need anything, I'm happy to pass that along to her, or vice versa, whichever way works better. Just to let you all know, this is something that we do for all of our community that provides support through our Chart Your Course events and of course our classes. Next month on the 17th, we'll have Danut Devni Shah, and I don't have her presentation title yet, but she's been doing a lot of work in the self-help realm, and a little bit different, but she wanted to join us this evening, and I'm afraid she had something else. So we'll look forward to that next month. And again, thank you everyone for all your support. And Connie, thank you for the presentation. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, be well and safe.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.